All right, welcome to another episode of F1 Fanatics. Mustafa Janadu here in DC, and I've got Kunle and Mr. Johnny in Lagos, in various parts of Lagos. What's the weather like there, Kunle? Is it raining?
It's wet. It's very wet. It's wetter than a hot woman in October.
It's wetter.
Uh,
Oh, you know what? That's a good segue. It's wetter than whoever the female that Marco was no, not the Marco, the female that Horner was talking to in the
oh
garage.
yes, it's wetter than Honey Bonus female
Yeah,
mechanic
and
right
that's
now.
actually the topic of our show today. So I'm just going to read it. According to Marco, um, I think it was the right decision to get rid of Horner. In the complexity of F1, a technician at the top is probably a better solution. Everything is then built more from the technical side. So basically, he's saying that because Lauren McKee is an engineer and Horner wasn't, that it's better because he can be on the same page with the engineers and stuff. To me, Michael says a lot, but that doesn't ring true to me. Horner doesn't need to know about cars. He has technical people. He had Newey. He had Newey. He had Rob Marshall. He had tons of guys on the team who were experts, and it was the fastest car. He's won with Vettel before. So to me, that argument that because he doesn't know about uh, engineering stuff, that it's better off for the team. Was it better off for the team when they had the fastest car when Verstappen was beating 20 people by 20 seconds, beating people by 30, and now that Newey and everybody else has left, the car has gone down. So is he diagnosing the right problem? And we have to remember that the team principal is different from the technical director. The team principal has to do a lot of political machinations and things, and has to bring in money. Has to do a lot of I would say it's more heavy. That job is more heavy on procedure, on linking other departments of the team together and bring everything in harmony. So I don't see that argument about him leaving. I just think that Helmut Marko didn't like Horner because they were both fighting for power within that team. What do you think, Kunle?
What I'd like to say first of all is I think it's just being what's the word? I'm not ambassadorial, diplomatic.
Yeah,
Sorry, because
ambassador.
I mean, yeah,
Unless you're the Israel ambassador. Okay, go ahead,
yeah,
because I want to know diplomatic
any
anyway.
any answer other than the truth
Yeah.
is better because the truth is definitely because he's trying to get his nuts inside her wheels, and the fallout has affected the morale. Obviously, the incident is over, but it's permanently affected the morale and the feelings of Red Bull because they probably felt that she was mistreated by somebody who was being
No,
obnoxious with her in a
Kunle,
miscellaneous.
we're out topic. The argument was that that's what Marco said. Marco said that
Yeah,
um, now they have a technical team principal. It's probably better for the team because Horner didn't know. Basically, he didn't know anything about engineering. And I'm arguing that maybe I don't think so because Horner brings other things to the table. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I'm saying Marco said that to distract from the truth. That's
Oh,
that's the
the
point
truth.
I
Oh,
was
okay, I
making.
see what you're saying. Okay, go ahead. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. And well, whether he's an engineer or not, I don't think Red Bull really had an engineering problem at the time. They're still performing more or less pretty much at the same level they have been whilst Horner was there, and it was Horner that took them up to that level.
Yes,
So this question about engineering, I think, is a bit moot. I think it's just being
and
political to
but you know what
sidetrack.
he's doing? You know what he's doing? He's like because they won Monza. You see. Now that we have a new guy, we are winning. We They won with Horner on high speed tracks too. They won with Horner on high speed tracks. Max wins on high speed, but it does seem like the team has turned the corner. But one could argue that the reason they've turned the corner is because they've been working on this problem from the car since last year, and now they're finally coming to grips with it. But that is due to the engineers and the technical team. It's not due to
And
the
high speed tracks.
yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it looks like the car may but have more balance overall for all tracks. That's what they're trying to say. So even if that's the case, even if it's the case that the car is greatly improved, that would be not because you have a new technical team leader. It'll be because the technical team that's there has been working with Verstappen and is doing things. The only thing I would argue, I think that Horner did mess up that team because he was no longer focused on procedure. He was focused on trying to get shares within the team, and he had the sex scandal and everything. And also, he was undermining Newey and the other engineers because he wanted to be the man who takes the car in whatever direction just because of ego.
I
So what
think
he was
that
doing,
when they start moving to the slower
what
tracks
I meant
in
by that, let me
Asia,
clarify. What I meant by that is
sorry,
that he was backing Pierre Vacher because Vacher was his boy, rather than backing the side of the engineer. Because there was a civil war of engineers in that team, and so he decided to say, "Well, Newey's not that great. This guy's better." But I don't think he did that because he didn't know about cars. I think he did that because that was his boy, and he wanted Newey out because he also knows that Newey wants shares in that company too. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I was just going to say that we'll know the truth about Red Bull when they go to slower tracks.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Although this particular Baku track, although I think Red Bull can perform well in it, like I said in the
yeah,
previous show, I'm
yeah.
suspecting Verstappen might deliberately not want to perform well in it. But we'll know the truth if he still wants to be competitive and we get to a slower track. I think Singapore is the one after Baku. Then
Yeah,
we'll
that's
know
a
the
slow
truth
track.
whether they've really solved the car problem or not.
Yeah, well, I
With
mean,
this new engineer that's
see how
supposed to
they
have
do.
come to replace Newey.
If they can come third in Singapore, then we'll say, okay, we'll give them a
Yes,
pass. What are your
there's
thoughts?
some truth. Yes.
What are your thoughts, Mr. Johnny?
Oh well, hell, Marco Marco sounded like he was just happy. Just sounded like he was happy that Honor has left. That sounded like a happy man. So he just that's just it sounded to me like thank God he's gone, and then and we don't we don't really need that kind because that kind of thing. He's not he was just happy that he's gone because I think what's his name Honor was overstepping in the boardroom and like
Yeah.
In the
understepping on
bedroom.
the track.
You know what it's like when you're young, if your dad is mean, and mommy says, Daddy has a business meeting for 6 weeks, so he won't be here. Yes, yes, yes. That's how Horner is.
Like I'm just happy that the guy has gone. Yeah, because I'm sure if Verstappen was still winning and if they were still bringing in results, then he'll still be sitting down there. But
Yeah,
his own
but he
wahala
doesn't like
just became
Horner.
too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there, and
And here's
then
the
sent
thing.
him away.
And what's funny is that Marco himself is not an engineer; he's a driver. And Horner was a driver. He wasn't that good, but he was a driver. But all of these guys know cars. They know Horner knows the basics. So once you talk to all your people in the lab, because every team has people in the lab, and they say these downforce, he knows those concepts. Even we know those concepts. Like we said last year, we knew. At least I knew. I think we all of us knew that Ferrari made a fatal mistake by changing their suspension in the last year. I hate to keep on repeating it when they were only 14 points behind McLaren. You get what I'm saying. So even we know
Right.
that, and also we know that getting rid of Sainz was probably not good for their short-term development. So I guess what I'm saying is that Horner knows what Horner is proficient enough. But the real question, and I'll ask you this, Kunle, is the other stuff he brings. So now we have a new guy in Red Bull, but there's a lot of stuff you have to bring to a team, as we see with politics, being able to handle the drivers, being able to handle egos, being able to bring in funding and money and things like that. So I think we'll definitely see Horner back on the grid. What do you think?
Do you say me? Do you say Kuni or Johnny? Okay, yeah. So I was going to say that, yeah, I think the way that it's going about sorting out this car right now, I'm still going to have to wait on the. You see, the thing about Horner is that he's a team player, and they are already engineers. Sorry, they are already engineers in Red Bull.
Yeah.
So you don't want a clash of if you have like there's a chief engineer and then your team leader is also an engineer and they start clashing over ideas. Whereas more or less, if he was an engineer, all that would do would be to sort out issues of politics. But I think that the way Newey was running the team, I do believe that Red Bull had more than enough.
Newey or Horner.
Horner, sorry, Horner was running the team. I do believe that they had more than enough engineers. I don't think that
They
engineering
probably
was
had
a
too
weak
many.
issue.
They had too many
Yeah,
engineering.
exactly,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
precisely. So I don't think that that was a sufficient enough of an issue for Marco to say, "Oh, that's why it's such a good idea to replace him with a different."
And Ferrari's head has a PhD in engineering. Look at how that team is fucked up.
Exactly.
I
There are people, engineers, and
have a PhD in engineering. I have a PhD. Let's scrap the whole car. Let's scrap the suspension. Let's just
yeah.
throw it out.
Sometimes less is more. I think
Yeah.
when it
Oh yeah,
comes
keep
to
it
the
simple.
engineers, yeah,
Keep it simple.
sometimes
Let
less
me
is
tell
more.
you the truth.
Balance
Just
of a team doesn't require
just
too many people in the same area.
I'm exaggerating. Just put a Peugeot out there, man. For God's sake, and drive, man. Shit. I'm just kidding. What are your thoughts, Mr. Johnny?
Yeah. Where am I?
Yeah, just in general about Horner and about Marko and the development of this car. It'll be interesting to see. What do you think? Do you think this new guy is going to do anything? Oh, I know what I was going to ask you. So, but it seems like now the chief engineer of Red Bull right now is actually just Verstappen, because Marko even said it. Marko said that we don't rely on wind tunnel anymore. It seems like Verstappen is the chief engineer with the setups and stuff. What do you think, Mr. Johnny? Yeah,
I mean, we saw that in the last race. You know,
yeah,
I think he's gonna be the chief engineer for the meantime because he's the one like maybe they built the car even for him, exactly for him than to his own specification. So he's
yeah,
actually the
yeah,
one that can actually he's probably the one that's been telling them how to build the car since and telling me through Turner and stuff like I don't know. But
yeah.
they're gonna have to just wing it. They're just gonna have to just kind of like
Wing
wing
it.
it, like like real Red Bulls. You know,
Yeah.
they're gonna drink Red Bull and just wing it till the end of the race and see how it goes. And all what's his name? Verstappen has to do is stick his thumb out, on measure the air, and then look at the tires, look at the track,
No, but
look
here's the
at
thing.
who's yeah.
You know what I heard? I heard that the guy is putting in 5 hours a day with the engineers working on the concept for next year because they're testing the cars now. They're doing sim testing on the car. So he's actually working, and that goes to show you. So, but the thing is that you're right. You're wrong, Mr. Johnny. They're not winging it. They're de-winging it. Clip those wings off. That's Verstappen's style,
Wow.
right? Clip the wings. I'm joking. You get up because you said wing it. That was a
Yeah.
perfect way. No, we're not. We're not winging it. We don't want wing. And then you can be like, I leave this team. I need some fucking way, man. I go crash. No, but going back to what you said though, and I think this was where the team fell apart last when like when Verstappen was winning by 20, 30 seconds. He was getting greedy. He said, I want the car to be faster. I want to be faster. So he started making the car more and more fronty. And by the time that they realized that there was an imbalance because of the feedback he gave to the car,
Well,
that imbalance was
fronty.
bad that they're still trying. It's just like getting cancer. Even if you survive cancer, you have to clean it out for a year or two, and before you're back to normal. So I think that what happened was the car was so fast, so that it was masking the problem. And I don't know what Newey and the rest of those guys were doing that they allowed that car to fall apart. They probably Newey saw that it was going bad, but nobody wants to listen. I mean, but Max doesn't want to hear the truth. So Newey just put that symmetrical thing. But once they took that asymmetric thing out of the car, that's when it was naked. And also, this guy had been complaining about it even when the car was fast. Which is why I'll always respect Checo. Even when Checo and Verstappen were winning, he said there's something wrong with this car. They laughed. They said, "What do you know? You're a Mexican." The British people were calling him the Minister of Defense, the Mexican. They said, "What does he know?" They even cheered when they fired him and said, "Yeah, bring on Lawson." How did that work? Cooley, what are your thoughts about that? About in general that the car was doing so well, and when it was doing well, that because it was doing so well, that might have been a bad thing because they were building up really bad habits in the development of the car, and it was too late until they found out. What do you think? So in other words, they need to be
Yeah,
careful about making Max the engineer. But I think Max knows now, and he's admitted that he needs to adjust his driving style because of the imbalance in it. What do you think, Kunle? Yeah.
yeah, they have got carried away and they've over egged the pudding with putting so much on one car and making him sort of almost like this kind of honorary engineer in the team. They're focused too much on one car. I guess because of what happened losing Horner in the season, they probably need to just try to get over the line for this season. And the
Yeah.
best way they can do it is focusing on Verstappen for this season. And then
Yeah.
maybe next season they can try to balance it out and figure out
Yeah, they're
what
gonna
went
bring
wrong
Haja up there.
and so on and so forth. Yes,
Yeah.
and sort that out. So I guess since the situation they find them, since Verstappen is still performing, I guess in the short term, that's probably what's saving them from having from falling off a cliff. Because I really did think they'd have fallen off a cliff when Horner left, but they seem to still be there or
Hanging
thereabouts. I
on.
mean, it looked bad for the race after the race that Verstappen came ninth, and then they just bounced back,
Yeah.
dominating the last race or two, and looking like they're going on a charge in another fast circuit. But I wonder if Verstappen does badly at Baku. I think he's doing badly deliberately. But I mean, this responsibility that being heaped on him. and his desire for constant excellence and winning. But although he knows he can't win the championship, he might still at least try to win this, so try to get a record of winning races. Because I mean, if you're naturally competitive, that's where your mind will go. So kudos to Verstappen in the short term. Let's see what's going to happen at the
Why do
end
you
of the
think he's
season.
trying to? Why do you think he could lose on purpose? You think he's been dealing with his contract or something to get out of it?
Yes, just even if he, yeah, just to keep him free from his contract. If he finishes below fourth, then he can move without having, he can be a free agent. And he might want to win enough races to look, because you don't want to be look so bad that nobody wants you. So you want to win enough races to people say he still got it, but you want to lose enough races so they don't waste your time. Because no, even if he starts doing it, he could never win the championship this season. He's too far behind. That's gone. So all he can do is win a few races. So I think that's what he's probably trying to do. Stay relevant, look valuable, win a few races, take on the McLarens, and then look for a better drive next season. Possibly, now I'm thinking about it, Aston Martin and Williams. Yeah, I'm touting Aston Martin and Williams to really challenge. And Ferrari, if they don't get their act together at the end of the season, it's going to get really bad for them. They need to lift it.
The Ferrari has already started again. They say that they are trying a radical and risky approach for next year. They're saying that already. They're saying that they have a radical and risk, and their reasoning is that if it's so risky that they'll either win or be at the bottom. So it's like it's a 50-50 chance. So they like to gamble. That gambling shit don't pay off, man. All right.
Maybe the chaotic approach can work for Ferrari if Verstappen goes there.
Maybe. What are your thoughts on Verstappen head out? Yeah.
Well, radical. I wonder. I mean, the one they did with Hamilton wasn't that radical enough. I don't know what I would get. I don't know, female Hamilton driver. I don't know what kind of radical thing they want to do. But if you gamble usually, you usually lose in that kind of thing. So most likely we're going to see Ferrari ending up being bottom of the chart next year if this is true what they're saying, because
they have I would say they could come mid. If they're not careful, they'll come fourth or something next year on the grid. They'll come. What are they coming this year? They're coming second. It's amazing that they're coming second and they're this bad. And you know what's this is what's really bad. It goes the opposite, because you talk about teams and drivers, right? Ferrari is the second fastest team on the grid, but yet Verstappen is the third fastest driver, and I think fourth is Russell. So even though they have a car faster than
I think Leclerc's ahead of Russell. Leclerc and Hamilton are both ahead of Russell.
No, Russell, or maybe Russell dropped. But the fact that Verstappen is ahead of them in an inferior car, it says a lot about that team.
Yeah.
Let me see what the driver standings are.
I think the McLarens are top, then it's Leclerc, then it's Verstappen, then
No, Kool-Aid, once again, you have to do your research. Or don't make statements until you know. Piastri's number one, Norris is number two.
I think. Yeah, I said the McLarens are at the top two.
No. I'm talking about driving. You said that Leclerc and Hamilton were above Russell. Russell's coming fourth.
Russell's coming fourth?
Yes. Kool-Aid, you haven't been following the standings this year. You haven't been
I'm surprised. Wait. Russell is coming fourth.
Yes. Piastri's coming first. Norris is second. Verstappen is third. Russell is fourth. Leclerc and Hamilton are fifth and sixth. That's unacceptable if you're coming second in the constructors.
Yeah. Yes, because I mean, if you're coming second, it means that you've got a good car and you're underperforming.
Yeah, and they're coming fifth and sixth. This is crazy, man. The drivers have to take a look at themselves too. But you know what it is? Maybe that the car is
the mistake I made was because Mercedes have been underperforming so many races of late. I thought that they'd been caught up.
Yeah.
Mercedes they've been finishing one thing.
They dropped so many points.
Not only that, Russell is 30 points ahead of Leclerc. And Russell is almost 8.
Ferrari had the DNF last time, and then I think also Leclerc too had the DNF. And then
it's the
Mercedes
DNF
have been finishing
them. Yeah, because they were faster at some point. I think it's the DNF that's done them in. because I do believe that Ferrari have been faster, but they've been doing better in races of late. I was just surprised. Yeah, it's
Yeah, but have you noticed they've only been, even when they're doing what they still keep not getting on the podium. Hamilton hasn't been on the podium, and Leclerc was on the podium twice this year. But Russell
when
and
was the
Verstappen,
last time Russell hasn't been on the podium for when was the last time
Russell has won a race this year, and he's been on the podium once. He's won a race, and winning a race is very big. He won that. Remember when he won? Yeah. So
he won a race. He got a podium finish, but then he's got a lot of bad finishes as well.
No, but he's always coming fourth or fifth or sixth or between fifth. But yeah. So anyway, the point I'm making is that it doesn't make sense for these guys to be so low on, and Hamilton hasn't made it on. I'm not blaming Hamilton because I don't know what's going on with this team. He hasn't made it on.
The chaotic nature of the team and the car, and the constant adjustments with the car. I think that they've been more stable
let me tell you why
in the way they manage the car.
I'll tell you why Verstappen and Russell are higher than them because Verstappen and Russell the team has less points because they don't have a second driver, and also they're lower. And Antonelli's not driving well, but Verstappen and them have more lower positionings than Ferrari. But when they do have low positionings, no, but when Ferrari does, but Ferrari has less high positioning. They don't have, like, Red Bull has more wins. Verstappen has won 3 times this year. Ferrari hasn't won at all. So even though overall maybe the Ferrari guys will be ahead of him overall more times than not, getting first place, that's 27 points. None of their drivers have gotten that type of big amount of points. So coming third, fourth, and fifth gives you small points. So if one of the Ferrari drivers had won a race by now, they'd be ahead of Verstappen. You see what I'm saying? So in other words, they're placing higher than Verstappen, but they're not placing high enough. Because when Verstappen places, he places very high. Verstappen either comes sixth and ninth or first or second. You get my point, first, second, or third. Whereas when they come high, the highest they've gotten is third place, and third place is not many points. You see what I'm saying, Mr. Johnny? Yeah. So it's just like, Mr. Johnny. If you win 4 races this year, and I only win 1, and I win not win 4. Let's say I come 5th, and you come 4th. 6 times you beat me 6 times, but 1 time I come first. I'm going to be ahead of you because of all those points. You see what I'm saying? So you could beat me all season, but if I come first place, I may still be ahead of you. So what I'm saying is that the Ferrari guys might be beating Russell a lot this year, but they're not getting valuable points when it counts. Whereas Russell got a first place and a podium. You see what I'm saying, Kunle? Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just confused because Ferrari in the last few, Mercedes have been doing really poorly recently. I'm just confused how they.
No, but they started off really well the first couple of weeks. For the first 5 races, Russell came 4th, or he came 4th, and he was an opponent. He was regularly coming 4th for the first 5 races. You know, it was, and then later on,
Ferrari could actually catch. Well, I don't know. I think Leclerc does stand a chance of catching Russell if Russell doesn't start improving. And I don't think this racetrack is going to help Mercedes. It's a fast track. This advantage Ferrari again.
And it doesn't look good for Leclerc in a faster car to be getting beaten by Russell, because then that means a lot of people believe Russell might be the second best driver on the grid. You get my point? A lot of people say that.
Russell has no business beating Leclerc at Marko. Not on that set. If he does, then that's going to be bad PR for Ferrari.
Yeah, Russell they need to get together.
Hamilton. I mean, Hamilton should have done better in the last race if not for his penalty.
Yeah.
So Hamilton has been getting fast, but one stupid thing or the other has been messing him up.
In fact, I'm not going to be the race for 4th, 5th, 3rd. It's going to be more interesting than the race for 1st and 2nd, because I want to see what's going to happen with Ferrari. They can't hide now. They can't hide. Nowhere to hide on this track. You get my point. They can't hide.
Well, if Piastri gets ahead of Norris, then 1st and 2nd might be interesting.
Yeah. All right, so take us out, Kool-Aid. We actually went longer than usual. Look, the other day we did a 40 minutes. Remember the last one we did 48 minutes? That was not yesterday. The other day. Let's get out of here.
So it's been an interesting afternoon and looking to the machinations of international motorsport and the incoming race in Azerbaijan and Baku. And from myself, Mustafa, and Johnny, we bid you farewell. Adieu. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
Adieu, adieu.
Adieu. Goodbye. Adieu. 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 Adieu to you.